Welcome to Environmental Earth Science Fall 2020. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of things that you need to know before we really get started and dive into content. So what is this class all about? How does it work? And how do you get started? So let's go. What is this class all about? In a quick week-by-week overview, we're going to start out talking about Earth systems and human population and how those two things are connected. Then we're going to spend a couple weeks talking about geology and mineral and rock resources. We'll move on to talking about soil resources, incredibly important for growing food and actually a way to provide some other mineral resources. Water resources, water is life. We need fresh water. And so we'll talk about where it is, how we get it, and what might limit it. Then we'll talk about the problems with our resource extraction and use, consumption, and ultimately disposal. So we'll have a week focused on waste disposal and pollution. The second main portion of our class will focus on energy sources and their extraction. So we'll spend a week on conventional fossil fuels, oil and gas. And then we will talk about unconventional fuels, including fracking and heavy oil and tar sands and nuclear energy, as well as nuclear waste disposal. From there, we'll move on to talking about renewable energy, including hydropower, solar, and wind energy. And then right around election time in early November, we'll talk about what a world that is less dependent on petroleum might look like. Then in the final few weeks of the semester, we will focus on climate change impacts and solutions. Understanding some of the earth science that's driving climate change, and then looking at the consequences for natural and human systems. And then finally, in the last week of the semester, we'll explicitly focus on climate change solutions and local environmental issues. So that's what we're gonna cover this semester. How exactly is the class gonna work? Well, that's what we'll talk about next. I've designed this class so that you don't ever have to listen to me lecturing live on Blackboard Collaborate. That doesn't seem like a perfect way to facilitate learning. So we are going to use a combination of readings and video lectures that you can participate in on your own schedule, whatever day of the week, whatever time of day makes sense to you. And then we'll come together as a class for discussion and participatory activities on Wednesdays during our scheduled class time, 11 to 12:15. Each week, there will be quizzes and assignments to help you stay on track and to make sure that you are learning. But I am not going to do midterm exams this semester. You will, however, have a semester-long project, a local environmental issues project with multiple turn-ins throughout the semester. And that's part of what makes this an honors class as opposed to a regular section of environmental earth science. So what does a typical week look like? Let's start out on Monday. It's the beginning of the school week. You are all scheduled for class from 11 to 12:15 on Mondays, but that's going to really be a drop-in to the course room for any help that you might need in class. So maybe I'll see you there every week. Maybe I'll see you there a few times a semester. Maybe I won't see you there at all. That's fine with me. But on sometime on Monday, or in the weekend before, if you want to get a jump start on things, I'd recommend that you do the readings, which will be from the textbook Environmental Geology, available through Flashbooks, and some supplementary readings that I may pick out from week to week. And then watch the video lectures that I'm making available to you, created by me or by others. They'll add up to about 20 to 30 minutes of lecture time. That's sort of replacing that Monday class. Once you've done the readings and watched the lectures, that's step one. You're ready to move on to steps 2 and 3. Step 2 is taking a 5-question multiple choice quiz that just makes sure that you have taken on board the material from the readings and the lectures. You'll then do an online activity, which will let you dig in a little bit more deeply on one of the topics associated with class that week. Maybe take advantage of some online resources. And I encourage you to do both the quiz and the online activity, as well as the readings and lectures, before Wednesday at 11 a.m. when you are going to come into Blackboard Collaborate Ultra for class, including, as I said, discussion and an in-class activity for participation credit. Once you've done all those things, you've had the class experience and discussion, gotten any questions answered, taken the quiz, done the activity, done the readings, I'm gonna have you do one more thing, which is answer a single synthesis question designed to pull together the week's concepts or integrate this week's material with previous weeks we've covered in class. Those will be relatively short, just 200 words or less, or a 2-minute video or 2-minute audio file, but just designed to see how you're pulling concepts together. If you've done all that, you're pretty much done for the week. I am going to let you retake the quiz. If you are unhappy with your score the first time, you can have a second attempt after you've gone back and done the readings and lectures a little bit more thoroughly or gotten some confusion cleared up. And then everything is due by Friday night, right? So before you sort of quit your work week, your school week, make sure that you have done the quiz, done the online activity, answer the synthesis question, and come to class, right? And if you weren't able to come to class, come watch the video recordings that we'll make of it. Each week material will open up on Saturday and everything will be due on Friday, but there's no reason to spend your weekends slaving over the course material. You can easily, I think, get this done in a small number of hours during the week. The one last thing, and I'm kind of hiding it down here, but we are going to do this semester-long local environmental issue project. So some weeks there will be deadlines associated with that. Other weeks there won't be, but it's the sort of thing that if you make slow and steady progress, you will win the race to completing that project handily over the course of the semester. All right, so what is this environmental issue project? So I want you to pick something that is an environmental or science related issue in a place that matters to you. So this could be your hometown, this could be Kent, this could be a place where your grandparents live, a place where you've spent the summers, a place where you used to live, but it needs to be a real place and a real issue. Some things are just too broad. You cannot do climate change or rainforest deforestation as your local issue. It needs to be something that is tractable and really focused on a particular place. So once you picked your issue, you're going to spend some time learning about it, finding more sources of information. This could be local newspaper articles. This could be talking to activists in the area or local environmental scientists. It could be doing more general background reading on, let's say your issue is hydraulic fracturing contaminating local well water. So you could be reading articles about that in a general sense as well as a very local sense. You're then going to research and figure out what potential actions could be taken to address the issue, and then write an issue brief to decision makers that have some authority to take action about that issue. So that could be your city council, it could be your county board of commissioners, it could even be like the State Department of Natural Resources, but somebody who is actually going to be able to make some decisions. And then finally, at the end of the semester, I'll ask you to develop a message to the public. This might be an op-ed or a TV spot. It could be a song or a poem, but something that not only educates the public about the issue that you've been learning about, but also encourages them to take some action. So that is that semester-long local environmental issue project. And that will be on top of the weekly quizzes and activities that I'll be expecting you to do. All right, so how does this all, what's the stew that turns this into a grade? Those weekly assignments or near weekly assignments will be over half of your grade. That local environmental issue project with its multiple turn-ins will be about 30% of your grade, and then there will be a final exam that is 15% of your grade. So I said there were no midterms, but there is going to be a final exam, and you can read about that in the syllabus, and it's something that you'll be able to do ahead of time, get turned in maybe even before the semester is over, and shouldn't be too onerous, but is hopefully useful to you moving forward. In terms of grades, my pledge to you is that I will never raise the bar for what it takes to earn a particular grade. So if you earn 92% of the points in the course, I guarantee you, you will get an A. I will not raise that to 93%. 92% guarantees you an A. Now, let's say you come in at 91%. You are guaranteed an A-, but I might use my discretion and say, you know, I think that really was A-level work. There was just a bad week in there someplace, just a couple points short. You might get an A. So I have the ability to lower the floor, but I'm never going to raise the floor in terms of these grade distributions. All right. So that's grades. Another question that you might be asking in fall 2020 is, what happens if I get sick, or I need to take care of someone who's sick, or I suddenly lose my childcare, or work asks me to come in and work bigger hours, or I have to move out of the dorms and go home. Life happens, right? And so I've tried to build into the syllabus a number of different things that should take some of the stress of this class out of whatever situation you're in. So all of those weekly assignments, like let's say quizzes, there'll be 13 quizzes over the course of the semester. Your quiz grade will be taken as the best 11 of those 13 quizzes, which means that if you have one bad week and you just don't take the quiz at all, it's not going to tank your grade. If you have 2 bad weeks and you didn't do great on the quiz the first time and you never got a chance to take it the second time, those 2 bad weeks aren't going to matter. Right? So it's the best X of more than X possible assignments, right? And those numbers are in the syllabus. The other thing I would say is, let's say you get sick, you get overwhelmed, you get behind, you want to catch up. If you can turn in a weekly assignment within 2 weeks of the due date, I will just apply a 20% late penalty, flat rate that entire time. You don't have to tell me what it was. You can if you want, but you don't have to. We'll just put that late penalty in place, and that will incentivize you guys to keep up, but also catch up as you are able. And if something is catastrophically wrong, you are sick for weeks, you know, things are just going terribly, you need to email me or talk to me, and we can develop a plan that works to get you back up to what is possible for you that semester, a successful level in the class. But it may require us to work together to develop a strategy, like prioritize this, this, and this, don't worry about this. And I'll develop that with you in an individual situation when you are feeling well enough, or not so overwhelmed that you can't take stuff on board. So you don't have to email me the minute you get sick, but when you're starting to feel better, if it's been 3 weeks, say, then, you know, that's the time to get back in touch with me. All right. So what else do you need to know? Well, this was the quick and dirty. There is a lot more detail about everything in the syllabus. So read the syllabus. Let me just give you some of the subheading titles that are in the syllabus. There are course descriptions and learning outcomes, office hours, technical support, how to communicate with each other, details about each type of assignment. What is it? How often is it? How many points is it worth? More details about the later missed work policy, how to appeal a grade if you think I've graded you unfairly or the answer key is wrong, cheating and plagiarism, class behavior expectations. Please do read this one. Health and safety, intellectual property and privacy, student accessibility, basic needs security. Another helpful section, tips for a good experience with Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, including, I talk about my expectations for camera and microphone use, recordings, what browser I recommend, all sorts of things like that. The Academic Success Center and coaching resources that are available to you, and the course schedule. So what I'd say you could do right now, you could pause this video. We're almost done with it, but you could pause the video, go read the syllabus, then come back and watch the last few minutes. Okay, pause and come back. You read the syllabus? Great. I'm not Oprah. I can't give you a car, but you are already on your way to getting a good grade in this class by understanding the course policies and expectations. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. It is how the class is going to work. You might be saying, all right, I'm ready to dive in. How do I get started? Well, read the syllabus. If you didn't pause the video and go read it before, that should be the first thing you do after reading the syllabus. Then find the discussion board, and there is a forum in the discussion board to introduce yourself. You'll see a little video from me and an introduction from me. Go ahead and post your own video, photo, text, audio, whatever is comfortable for you, and say hi to others as they post their introductions. Week 1 materials will be available August 27th. We don't technically meet until the following week, August 31st. So you can go ahead and get a jump start on week 1. You can do that as soon as the semester officially begins, but you have until September 4th to complete those week 1 materials. And then I'd encourage you to use those optional drop-in hours on Blackboard Collaborate on Monday, August 31st, between 11 and 12:15 to come in, say hi to me, check your video and your microphone, make sure those things are working to your comfort level. I can show you how different things work in Blackboard Collaborate. There's a way to put a little avatar up there. It could be a Bitmoji, it could be a picture of your dog, it could be a picture of you, just something that you're going to use consistently so that we're not just all black circles, and you have some representation when your camera is not on. All right, so that's it for now. Like I said, here's your list of things to do to get started, and I'm really looking forward to teaching you this semester and getting to know you through class times and through our electronic communication. All right, take care. Bye.